When I was younger, I always wanted to run away. I'd come up with these crazy plans like sneaking on cargo ships and starting a new life wherever it ended up. I was just one lonely kid that just really wanted to get out of my town. Or maybe I just watched too many unrealistic movies. Sometimes I wonder if I'm still doing that today. To recap, I traveled through Europe, New York, and California for the past 6 months, living out of my carry-on suitcase. It was a blast. Escapism. No, escapism. The tendency to seek distraction and relief from unpleasant realities. Initially, that wasn't what I was doing. I genuinely just wanted to see the world, but recently, things have been different. I noticed I would struggle with certain things, then think to myself, when I'm in blank, I won't have to worry about this. But for my time living in different places, I learned that being in a new city won't solve your problems. So the story starts in Hawaii. So I'm currently in Hawaii right now. There's a beautiful sunset happening behind me. I've really just been go, 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 and haven't really had time to slow down. And when I was in New York, I didn't realize that I had just gone to Europe. I didn't process all of that, and that is crazy because that was my dream trip. Yeah, I couldn't process it because when I was in New York, I was like, holy shit, I'm in New York right now. I've just in general just been craving some stability. After all that traveling, I feel so refreshed and motivated to work hard. Pretty excited to get my life together. Pretty excited for some stability. I was so grateful for having gotten to travel so much, but I was exhausted and was also really excited to be back home. With the start of every new year, I always feel the most excited to get to work. It all felt perfect. I was done traveling and I could get my shit together for the new year. And it was great. I built routines, got more work done, and just overall focused on my career and the direction I was headed. I spent a lot of time alone with myself. I figured being alone could help me be more productive, and being alone in nature would help me with my creativity. It was nice being home, saving money, and shooting on pretty hikes, but at a certain point, I started to feel a bit lonely. So lately it feels like I've lost myself a little bit. I feel like I blame Hawaii a lot. I feel like I can't be here for a long time because I resort to my childhood self, and I've had a lot of bad experiences, not as a child but in my teenage years, and I don't like feeling like the younger version of myself. But also I think it's just that I honestly don't really have that many friends here as well, and honestly I think one of the biggest things is I just maybe I've been too alone. I don't know. I feel really guilty when I'm sad here. But when you grow up in a certain place, it makes sense to have some negative feelings attached to it. I started thinking about how important relationships are and how important it is for me to be surrounded by them. I tried to make my social life a priority again, but I thought about going to California. It could be good to be around more of my friends again, and I wouldn't be as sad, and it'd just be better for my career. So I decided to leave. I immediately hung out with all my friends. It felt good to be social again. But even after all that, I still felt unhappy. When you're in an expensive city, you start to worry a lot more about money and your career. I was constantly questioning what I was doing, if my work was meaningful, if pursuing a creative career was even worth it. I thought maybe I should have stayed back home, at least saved money while I continued figuring out my career. Or maybe I should just go to some foreign country and travel. This is when I realized what I was doing. I kept thinking that somewhere new would fix the problems that I had, but the reality was I was gonna have to keep facing them wherever I was. No other place was gonna fix it or make it any better. It could just be a distraction, but there's always gonna be problems that I had. I know it's getting darker and it is a bit loud, but I want to explain to you like what I've been feeling. I guess even in LA I feel kind of lonely. I think it's just really hard being a creative and pursuing that as a career. There's just no like strict path to be on, and it's kind of hard to pursue something you're passionate about. Like people say like if you pursue something you're passionate about, you won't have to work at all, but like honestly it's a lot harder to get there. And when you pursue something you're passionate about, that passion gets kind of lost sometimes. I think I'm just starting to realize that life after college is really different, and it's a lot of stuff I'm trying to figure out, and it is lonely figuring it out. Getting older is just hard, and I just miss being a kid sometimes. It feels really weird to be back here. I basically grew up in Hawaii, but in high school, I lived in this really boring town. It was honestly some of the worst times in my life. It was really rough. I really thought that I was gonna move back home to Hawaii or move to SoCal. I ended up sticking it out, and it worked out because things got better. It wasn't horrible the entire time. The biggest thing that came out of it was like I started this YouTube channel that fully pulled me out of my depression, which is so crazy because like I don't think I would have started this if I was in Hawaii during all of high school. And I guess my main point here is like you can make the most out of any place that you're in. Here, I come back here and I'm like, holy shit, this is so motivating for me because this is the place that I like figured out how to be productive. This is where I found a lot of my motivation, but on the other end, it is so boring. I hate it here. It reminds me a lot of depressive times in high school. And it's just like the same with any other place. Like there's gonna be something bad about everywhere. Like New York is cold. It is expensive. I think LA is a horrible city, but it is so good for the opportunities. These last few months have been like super difficult for me, just like being smacked with reality of like, what am I doing? The life after graduation. I really realized like that my mindset is everything. I'm grateful to be here because it's like a nice place to just like reset. Even now I feel like I catch myself thinking like, oh, it's all gonna be better when I move across the country or like move to this place. It can be good wherever I want it to be. We're constantly striving for more, wanting what we don't have. The grass is always greener on the other side, right? But the problems we're dealing with will always be there, no matter how hard you try to escape it or think that somewhere else will fix it. So work on solving those problems internally. This used to be like my hobby place. It was like my favorite spot here. And it's not really special at all. It's literally just a park with a little water thing. But yeah, this place was my happy place. Okay, now I want to end this thing off by telling you something I've been telling myself a lot lately, which is good things take time. Anything good, like if you think of things that just like were good in your life, I feel like a majority of it took time to get there. Things don't really happen all of a suddenly. Like you need to like work towards honestly a lot of things. Friendships take a while. Like you're not gonna move to a new city and automatically be having your perfect set of friends. Finding a partner takes time. I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna live in all these places and like maybe I'll meet the love of my life somewhere. Yeah, no. That shit takes time. Like that's not gonna happen immediately. And also it's like you can't think like that. If you're waiting for shit to happen, if you're depending on a city or a job or a person to change everything for you, you're gonna be waiting a long time. The reality is the only ways those things come to you is with your mind and like how you're working towards those things. And I guess that's the biggest takeaway that I've learned. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more of my life. I don't know. I hope this is relatable. Yeah.